Close your eyes. Let your mind take control. And turn your brain into a dance floor. Start the drums.
Building drum sequence.
And the bass line. Create the melody.
Melody programmed.
Now add the people.
Global crowd selection online. Enter access code to share. Access granted.
This is A State of Trance podcast with Armin van Buuren.
Track that went by the name of Magic on Twitter a couple of months, but it wasn't called Magic, it's called Copperfield by Orjan Nilsen. A new week, a new State of Trance podcast. I'm Armin van Buuren. Make sure you get your grooves while you're being on the move. This week, a new remix of my own single, I'll Listen, new music by Foyle, Matt Davey, and a beautiful classic by Jennifer Rene. But first, last week's tune of the week on A State of Trance, taken from the album Memory of a Dream. Here is Andrew Rayel's remix of Tenishia. Where do we begin?
Where do we begin? Where do we end?
Finnish super duo Super 8 and Tab on the A State of Trance podcast. You just heard their take on my track I'll Listen with Anna Criado, and the remix has just been released. Let's have a look into the always cheerful mailbox, armin@thestateoftrance.com for your messages. Bali Sagu from the UK, thanks for your message and for rocking the I'll Listen t-shirt at the Invasion closing party in Ibiza. I hope you like the new remix by Super 8 and Tab. And François Javier Renaudin, beautiful name to pronounce, from Montreal, Canada, wrote, I did half a marathon while listening to your podcast. I wasn't running, but flying for 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's the spirit. Keep sending your messages. I love reading them. Armin@thestateoftrance.com. Let's carry on with the tunes. A collaboration between Mike Foyle and Leon Bollier under his Surpresa guys. Here is Placebo.
You're tuned in to the highlights of the regular State of Trance radio show. This is the State of Trance podcast.
Who's afraid of the pounding numbers? 138. This man for sure isn't. Matt Davey with his new release on my label A State of Trance, Oblivion. Time for the State of Trance radio classic, this week suggested by Amalia from Bucharest. She wrote, "It reminds me of the very first trance beats I ever heard." Here it is, 100% goosebumps rising track. Jose Amnesia and Jennifer Rene. Louder. Thank you for your classic request, Amelia. If you want to hear a classic on this podcast, let me know, Armin@astateoftrance.com, and I hope to play your request next week. Before locking down this episode, since we're speaking of classics, you can now pre-order the brand new edition of the State of Trance Classic CD series. Find the track listing and the links of the stores of Volume 7 on my website, astateoftrance.com. Okay, that's it for now. See you next week for a new State of Trance podcast.
For more info and previous editions of the podcast, visit arminradio.com or youtube.com/Armin van Buuren. Until next time.
For more info, check www.armada.com.